Hello, my name is Abimbola Asojo, and I'm a professor at the University of Minnesota Interior Design Program.
My name is Hua, a PhD student in Interior Design Program at University of Minnesota.
The title of our presentation is Project-Based Experiential Learning Design Environment for a K-12 Museum. The Bell Museum was designed by Perkins & Will, a global architecture and design firm, and is operated by the University of Minnesota College of Agriculture and Natural Sciences. Providing interior design students authentic experiences is one primary goal of interior design education. Therefore, we incorporated this project-based learning opportunity in a 7-week studio project in the interior design program at University of Minnesota. 32 sophomores were engaged in different stages of design process while designing the education wing of Minnesota's official Natural History Museum in collaboration with Perkins & Will in spring 2018. Project-based learning, the framework we used for the opportunity, refers to the use of problems. And 4 fundamental characteristics of PBL are: 1. Structuring the context-related knowledge. 2. Developing effective reasoning. 3. Acquiring self-regulation skills. And 4. Elevating learning motivation, according to Barrow's 1986. And based on Barrow's 1986 framework, new insights about PBL process consist of several components. The first one is introduction to the problem. The second is operation of critical thinking process. The third is identification of self-regulated learning needs. The fourth is application of gained understanding to solve problems. And then the fifth is reflection on what was learned.
We combine the PBL and backward design model to facilitate students in the problem-solving process. In problem introduction, we expose students with situational factors such as the site and building context, stakeholder such as Bell Museum personnel, Perkins & Will architects and designer. Based on these factors, students practice critical thinking by building their learning goal. For example, the direction for solving the problems, what are the relevant knowledge and skills that they need to achieve the problem-solving direction. We also facilitate students to achieve their goal by different teaching and learning activities such as mentoring, for example, class discussion between students and Bell Museum personnel, Perkins & Will architects and designer, and peer debriefing. Group discussion between students, summarize and discuss the project solution and process for other students. We also offer desk critique and invite Bell Museum personnel, Perkins & Will architect and designer for feedback and assessment with schematic, design development, and final solution reviews. Students then apply their constructed knowledge and learned skill into their solution and reflect upon them with peer discussion, instructor, and stakeholder feedback. Process. Students will design the self-educational wing on the first level of the new building by taking into consideration the architectural element such as the shell, structure, and vertical circulation. They will be responsible for designing the following space: touch and see exhibit, collection lab, supplies and maintenance room, field biology, physics, beehive, learning log classroom, education material, table and chair storage, and guide green room with a K-12 staging area.
So, after the students designed the project, in reviewing their projects, 5 themes emerged from their designs. And the following 5 themes were a sense of place, connection to nature, sustainability, universal design, and interactive technology. In terms of sense of space, Besides fulfilling the functional aspects of the design, the student teams created an atmosphere that inspired education, exploration, and enjoyment. And these are some examples of the student design projects. So, quoting from one of the feedback we received from the students, in terms of sense of place, this group of students quoted that the free-flowing space of the Touch and See lab, coupled with the structure of the collection area, will provide a safe and yet enjoyable atmosphere for discovery. Another theme that emerged was the connection to nature. The student teams proposed designs with strong connection to nature. They emphasized a strong visual connection between the indoor and outdoor, and you can see by some of their design solutions illustrated on this slide. They were highly influenced by patterns found in nature. For example, this particular student group were influenced by the Fibonacci sequence, and it inspired the way in which they created a spiral in the design of their space. Another theme was the theme of sustainability. All the student teams addressed sustainability in their choice of materials and FF&E. For example, they really focused on the LEED criteria and also the National Green Building Standard and the State of Minnesota B3 guidelines. And this is a quote of one of the students' team, focused on how they really use the B3 guideline and also use local materials in their design.
Another theme is universal design. The teams consider the diversity of the target audience because K-12 students have a wide range of ages and size. In the design, students focus on using furniture with different proportion, different size that really flexible to adapt to different ages of the audience. And this is some example of the student work. And there are some quotes from the student. They believe that the variety of movable and flexible furniture in the classroom will allow the K-12 student to explore the space in a more creative way. And also they learn that the diversity makeup of the student in the regional area does not really represent it in the design. That's why they want to use something that's universal, general, and applicable to everyone. And the last theme is interactive technology. Interactive technology was prominent in the design solution as it allowed real-time interaction between the display information and the audience. And as you can see, this is an example of interactive technology. The wall in the museum is left blank. So students can use technology such as projector to display a lot of information, and when the audience, the K-12 student, move along the wall, the projector can display different information that help them to understand how things evolve in one way or another. And the quote from the student is that they get a lot of feedback from the juror, and it's really important to expose K-12 audience not only with two-dimensional element but also three-dimensional. That's why they have to bring in technologies, because there the whole space will turn into a display room that the K-12 student can explore it and learn new information.
So in terms of our findings and conclusion, the New Bell Museum personnel and the Perkins and Will representatives commended the in-depth research and design solutions developed by the student teams. And through the student team reflection of their design solutions and process, they expressed ample understanding of site, existing building, construction structures, the community and target audience. This PBL experience also offered our students the opportunity to bridge the gap between their education and practical experience. And then students also learned how to appreciate the context and community as the core of a successful design while working with stakeholders. And here are some references that we focused on for the project. Thank you.